Hi, my name is Nathan, and today we're going to do a full comic book review of Nocterra, issues number 7 through 11, the second story arc. Get in the know before this gets on Netflix in 2023. This is a pedal to the metal story arc. Link in description if you wish to add any of these comic books to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry, and also timestamps will be in the description if you wish to go from issue to issue. And last but not least, if you like the content we're throwing up, you know what to do. Like the video, subscribe to this channel if you wish to see more comic book reviews and comic book related content like this. With all that being said, let's get into the content. This issue is a new story arc of Nocterra issues number 1 through 6, which is going to be a Netflix show sometime in 2023. I did do a full first story arc review. I'll put the playlist in the link in description, as well as at the end of this video if you wish to watch that so you can catch up on this awesome issue. We begin this issue with the monologue from Bailey. It was 14 years ago, this week, that the math of the world changed forever when a darkness fell over the earth and never left. An endless night that changes everything living creature into a monster shade. So we get like a flashback, a reminder what it's all about. We call the dark the big PM, and the only way to stay safe inside is to stay lit, because if you stay outside in the dark too long, you turn into a shade. But sometimes these shades divide into other shades, morph into other shades, like fractions. They just keep dividing, so they keep mutating. Rats mate with dogs and so on, to the point where it's a sliver of what it once was, but it keeps mutating into something else. And we see this other shade, we don't know what kind of morph it is or what the heck it is, but a blade pierces through it, and it's Val's brother Imori, and they got dinner. So this is a monologue from Bailey McCraw, and she joined Sundog Convoy 2 months ago, and her call sign is Piper. She was born 3 days before the big PM hit, so all she's known in her life is 3 days of sunshine. In case you hadn't guessed, she's a math person. In the convoy, the bean counter, mileage, supplies, odds, she calculates everything in the form of math. Val Riggs is our leader, call sign Sundog. And look, they eat these shades too. And so Val tells Imori, get your ass back in the truck. As long as we can eat it, we can eat it. So we continue on with Bailey's monologue. Val's truck is built for speed, 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. We also get introduced of another crew member. Bellwether is Val's oldest friend and our big gun. The light cannons, the roof, it's like a big beam of light, but it powers down her truck for a few minutes if she uses it. Slab is our supply rig. His face was burnt. I remember this guy from issue number 1, and you can definitely check that out. He definitely got his face burned off by Blacktop Bill. He likes to think of himself as the convoy's other leader, and Val tolerates him mostly, well, because he's one of the best hunters on the road. Callie is the cook, short for calamari, and look, he has like this squid hat over his face. And Stino, his shot, and our resident ecologist. So now they talk about this is a rat that was its origins as a rat, but you know what? It got morphed into other shades of PM and divided and gene and mutated, but it still has a semblance of a rat, and that's their dinner tonight. So as they exchange dialogue, like, yeah, buddy, we got some food over here, boy. Woo! Val tells him, all right, enough screwing around, Mother Hubbard. Just send over the word that there's megas up ahead. Megas are like the top of the food chain of the shades. And yeah, but we have to go on this road. If you guys want to turn around, we can decide on that later. But my vote is to keep going, because what we need is up ahead in that outpost, and we're one step closer to our goal. And our goal is to save the world, to revert the darkness into light. Pedal to the metal. So they get to Outpost 31. They call this place the drive-in, one of the strongest outposts in the region. Totally self-sufficient. They have to be around. Human shades are the pinnacle of the new food chain, but megas are the top of the shade animal kingdom. And water breathes, and so with the bay just to the west, this is a place of fortress. This place is a fortress, look at it. Rumor is it started with the single screen drive-in, but after the big PM hit, people kept bringing the screens in. And the reason why they're here is because of Bailey's grandfather, Augustus McCrae, passed through this place. He's dead now from the previous story arc, which, hey, you're more than welcome to check out that video if you wish. He's dead, but he's a brilliant physicist, and he may have been one of the people responsible for bringing the darkness here. He also claimed to have a way of bringing back the light, an equation he came up with. He wrote it in a journal. Now that she has it, she keeps it with her at all times. The goal was to take this equation to a place called EOS, a city of light somewhere deep in the earth. He said the people there could use his equation to bring back the light once and for all. The last month, they've been retracing his steps, trying to find any clue as to where EOS might be, going in deeper and more dangerous territory. So far, we found nothing. This is the place, last stop on our list. If there's nothing here, all we have left are unknowns. So they go in and they tread carefully. Bellwether calls out to see if anyone's there. Anyone here? Hello, friendlies and Bayweather. You know me as a mother trucker to all convoys out in the Outpost 41. It's empty. Oh, contraire. Callie picks up a chicken. Emery is like, dude, something ain't right here. And Bellwether's like, okay, maybe you're just feeling some things. Maybe you're just, nervous, right? No, he's usually pretty right. And keep in mind, Imori was a shade before. He's the only shade, or he's the only person to ever revert from a shade back to human form. All of a sudden, Bailey feels something. She points a gun. Wrong, there's somebody here. Wait, please, I'm not one of them. Please, just don't shoot me. My name is Adam. It's okay, Adam. We're not gonna hurt you. But what happened here? What did human shades do this? No, but it's, I'm normal. But yes, it was like that, but it wasn't normal. These shades, whatever, they came close to our lights, but this time they just kept attacking. We burned wave after wave of them, but they didn't stop until they were inside. Wait, you're saying they didn't care if they burned? Usually when a shade burns, they run the other direction. Yeah, they did. I've never seen anything like it, and this just tears the hell out of people. And they're like, okay. Imori tells them, just before I was cured, when I was almost one of them, I got this sense that they were capable of more than they've been letting on, and they had a bigger plan, and it was all coming to a head soon. How soon? Val's like, we gotta leave now. Something's up. Turns out my convoy, let's go. And it turns out these mega shades are there, and they're about to attack, and they have to get the hell out of there. This is awesome, man. Let me get our boy Blacktop Bill. I remember these shades from issue number 6. Talk to me. Let me understand. What is Nox? I am here with you. I want to. No, not yet. But now Nox is almost ready. I don't know what Nox is, but he puts on his helmet and he goes back to this bus. Oh my God, God save us. I don't know if it's a Christian or a Catholic bus, but definitely they worship the Lord kind of bus. Now, Mary, I hate to ask, as you and your fan have been mighty generous already, but you wouldn't happen to have a secondary power source in this bus, would you? Why did you do this? We're good people. We do our Lord's work. Oh, your Lord, me, I'm currently in the market for one. I doubt any will have you, Bill. Well, I don't know how they got made into this Blacktop Bill, because in issue number 1, Blacktop Bill describes his transformation as being constantly a burning sensation. You've never had a boss that you didn't mess over. Well, look at this. They're making new ones. Because of what you done, you were the Zenith Bill, top Nocturne. And all you had to do this time was kill the old man, destroy the convoy, and protect the prism. A simple mission. Instead, you shade the old man and let the prison burn and the convoy get away with it. You disobey orders, so we have to end you. Well, it turns out Blacktop Bill ended them. I suppose I just have my own way of doing things. Don't keep sending more of us, Bill, to get you. I wouldn't want it any other way. Blacktop Bill shanks her and finishes off his kill. So these megas are attacking him. Val, they're gaining on us. Stop it. Bellwether, use the beam, says Slap. Val is like, no, if she uses that beam, it's gonna power down and we're left exposed. Use it. They're getting on us and they're taking us in the air. Do it! And this is awesome. I could just feel the intensity with this panel right here. So Bellwether blasts a light. These megas go down. Slap and his girl Nefel, she's one of the best hunters in the group here. They go in this water. We're okay. We're just getting the winch. We're gonna pull you guys right up and then chomp. They get eaten up by Shamu Shade, and that is a hell of a sight to see. They gotta do a moment of grief right here. They just shared a pretty big loss. And this is awesome how we're expanding the world of Nocterra as well in this second story arc. Val's like, everyone back in the convoy, and then it's time to roll. Where are we going? Val says. Bailey, we tried everywhere we know Gus was. There's no place left. Yes, there is. There's one place left to go. One person who might know where the EOS is. Bailey does some calculations like, no, Val, you have to be kidding. And I don't know what it is. And even though she does her calculations, she's like, you find good fractions, good people, and you avoid unknowns. Because all it takes is one wrong addition to upend everything, a 0 to null it all. And the person Val wanted to go after was a person nil, the biggest, blackest void in the big PMN. Remember in the Blacktop Bill's one shot, they do not want to think his name because this guy is just dangerous. You do not want to cross paths with him. And look what he did. He just put these other missionaries' heads on his car just for the hell of it. And he puts them on his own personal car, which was explained in the one shot. That's when you know shit's about to go down. And because your new mission, Val said, was hunting down Blacktop Bill. My gosh, I mean, this beginning of this issue started off a little slow, but you're getting familiar with all the crews and the additions of it. But man, this ended with the banger, and I'm looking forward to the rest of this story arc and can't wait for the Netflix show to come out in 2023. Check out that other video too. I'll put the links in the description as well. We begin this issue in Outpost 52 Fort Speed. A figure, whoever's behind this mask, which I have a feeling we know who it is huffing and puffing and knocking on his door, banging on his door, begging for his life, begging to get in because something is chasing him, which is a shade. Then we begin this narration by Bailey. Earlier, I told you that the Big PM is a world of fractions. Everything that used to be divided by the darkness over and over until it's barely a sliver of the original anymore. So many animals mate and they just get into whatever else they just get into. Rabbits, lizards, ducks, they all become one. It's weird. But because here, this isn't some zombie apocalypse, some slow shuffling doomsday. No, this is 100 miles an hour all day, every day, and even faster. Blink too slow and you're infecting your shade food. So this guy's begging to come in. We see these shades closing in on him and the monologue continues from Bailey. So the people who've made it this far in 14 years in this darkness, what they reduced to, the denominator is kindness. We look out for each other. So they open the door, they let him in, the lights go on, and he's just greeted. And this guy, whoever's behind this mask, which I really have a bad feeling on who it is, it's amazing. And what do you run on, hydro? No, the well is connected to the river underground. And so they got fresh water, lights, plenty of lights. The shades won't mess with them. You're in safe havens here. So they're like, oh my God, you're bleeding. Let us take care of you. Oh, no, that's not blood. And just as I suspected, boom, 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 bam, bam. And right before the final kill, why are you doing this? Why? And we get to reveal who it is. It's your boy, Blacktop Bill, but he's your boy from a distance, only in the comics, right? Why? Because hearing how this place used to be, I gotta say, I like this version better. What is he planning on doing with this? We're gonna find out later. Later in the Hub Cup radio post, Val and Rig and all these other people, all of Val's crew are coming together because they are really adamant they do not want to go try to find Blacktop Bill. Blacktop Bill killed us twice, maybe thrice, and Jesus, I mean, this guy is just no good. So this guy tells him that, yeah, Blacktop Bill's supposed to be some part of military group, the Nocturnes, he was their leader or something like that. There are a lot of them, they're killers, some new guy is in charge, and I don't want any business with them. Well, guess what? We need to find this guy because he knows the location of a bunker that can help us bring light back to Earth and end the Big PM once and for all. Now, I know you're scared, but this is for everything. So man up and help us. And this guy's like, all right, I'll man up. Let me just get my map and let's go do this because I don't want any part of Blacktop Bill. So meanwhile, these two people, the guy and the girl from last issue, issue number 7, I totally forgot their names, but it is mentioned in issue number 7. And that's what happens when comic books come out a month apart from one another. You forget some stuff, right? So give us a little reminder. So they told Amora that they cooked up some lizard duck and, you know, had to pound it a little bit to get some toughness out. So they asked Amora, are you okay? And he reminisces in the past when issues 4 or 5, when he was infected by a shade, but he was healed, but he keeps getting this feeling like he's still connected to the shades, just enough to hear their whispers, but not enough to understand them. Lately, the whispers have been getting a lot louder, and I've been trying to ignore them. I figured it was just like an after effect, but seeing what happened at the drive-in, the way the human shades dragged everyone off, they're like, what are you trying to say? I'm saying I think the shades are getting ready for something like building an army for a war. So meanwhile, Mother tells Val like attacks have been more happening at the frequent lady at these outposts, the way station and the pit stop. And it's weird because they didn't just kill everyone. They rushed, dragged them off. Whoever they did this, it's savage. And here's the cluster. These other outposts are calling these attacks, reported attacks. But the thing is, the outposts were fine, but it's just blackness, like shut off or redirected, like the power, the electricity has been redirected, but it makes no sense. And Val knows who it is. It's him. I know it's him. It's Blacktop Bill taking over these outposts and redirecting their electricity for something. So meanwhile, we see these Nocturnes and these 3 dead brothers from last issue who try to kill Blacktop Bill. And over the intercom, this guy's like, I take it our people weren't able to stop him. No, they're like, okay, well, the brother over the intercom is like, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'll be the first to admit we should have made you leader from the start instead of him, William. It turns out this guy is Bill and the other guy is Bill, but the person who is on the intercom is revealed that he's in this sanctum with all this light. He's like, you know what? I didn't want to call you Bill and get the two Bills confused. Plus, Bill was a leader. Blacktop Bill was a leader. But you, William, you kill Blacktop Bill, eliminate him, and I'll call you. We'll call you whatever you want. So now we need him dead before anyone in the inner sanctum hears about this or about the journal. We're here in the outer banks of the Eos. We're all counting on you. Don't let us down. He's like, oh, I won't, sir. Blacktop Bill's on that outpost where you took over. He's like that. And this guy who's pretty much dying, about to beg for his life, that's every bit of power diverted to that thing. But why? Why are you doing this? It's simple. So I can talk to God. But don't worry. Don't feel bad, Haas. Whole civilizations have been failed for a lot less than this. Now, Nox, talk to me. Show me who you are. And whatever this thing is, I'm going to say it's like the Shade King, the Shade God, the Shade Alpha. I don't know, but it's very imposing, very freaky. Not a lot to make out of it. Are all those red dots eyes? And then even Blacktop Bill's like, whoa, man, this is a whole lot to take in. Tell me, what do you want? Why are you coming here? And whatever it is, the eyes opening wide does something, creates a lot of static. He has to take off his helmet in pain, and his eyes and nose and teeth are bleeding. He's like, that's your design. That's why you're coming to Earth. And, oh, here we go. You're here to kill me because I know your plan. Then do it. And before he can, like, you know, embrace his death, go out like a champ, go out like a Blacktop G, explosion happens. Blacktop Bill figures it's his brother William here to kill him. He's like, oh, I'm here to kill you hard. And as the smoke, as the dust fades, but my name is not William, asshole. It's Val and the gang. They found him. And Blacktop Bill's like, oh, wow, Val. I mean, what can I do for you? You can tell us everything you know about ES, or you can scream in pain. And Bailey's like, please scream in pain. And Blacktop Bill's like, normally I will pick the pain over your satisfaction any day of the week, but after what I just saw, I'll do you one better. And Emery Imori's like, what do you mean what you saw? He's like, well, I just had a little encounter with the Shade King, a job interview of sorts. See, all my life, I felt out of place on this planet, an anomaly, a predator amongst prey. I thought maybe this Nox, had a place for me. I spoke with it, heard its plans, and I got to say, the darkness, the shades, it's only the start. Nox is a black hole at the center of the universe, out to pull all life, all matter back to darkness and the void. The point is, Nox has no place for any of us. So you don't have to hurt me. I'll join forces with you. Bailey's like, no way, you killed my grandma. And the other Ferryman's like, and a ton of us Ferrymen, why the hell should we believe him anyway? And Imori, it was established that he still has some kind of communication with the Shade from recovering. It's like, because he's telling the truth about Nox. I know he is. I can feel it. So reluctantly, they gotta take in Blacktop Bill, and I'm pretty sure Val plans on killing him after this is all over with. But guess what? Blacktop Bill probably also plans on killing him too. So they both need each other for the moment. Now let's go save the world, says Blacktop Bill. And that's how we end Nocterra issue number 8. I thought this was fun. I love how they have to team up, and I love that it's established that there is Sun, an EOS system, but it's mysterious, keeps us a mystery. Yet I sometimes do feel that some plot points were not established in the first arc. Maybe that's just me, but comment below, let me know your thoughts. But overall, this is a gangster issue, and I'm looking forward to how the rest of this series turns out. With that being said, we begin this issue with a flashback. 0 days before the darkness fell, Val and Imori are in the backseat of their parents' car, a younger version of themselves. Val is drawing a family portrait. Imori wants to help by adding a drawing of a smiley face on the sun to the portrait. At first, Val isn't with it, but she goes with it, and I believe this flashback points to how Val's call name is Sundog and how it became Sundog. Then we go into a monologue of what would have happened if the sun had just kept shining, and we see the previous lives of people before the darkness came over. Who they might be, who they might have become, the lives they might have led. So yeah, she thinks about what it could have been if it weren't for the big PM. So she closes her eyes and thinks about the big AM, a world filled with light, a better world, and she sees her friends leading the way. Then we get this awesome panel of Val and the gang battling out with the Shades and how they're all working together. Bailey, aka Piper, tells Adam to watch his 6. He's confused and he's not used to the meaning of that terminology, which means to watch your back. Piper has a face-to-face with him to always watch his back. He's her field partner and he needs to be careful because you never know what's out there. Blacktop Bill sucks away the tender moment by commenting that it was well said. I mean, their interests are aligned, but it's still unsettling, right? It's freaking Blacktop Bill, and he's malicious with no justification and unpredictable. Not to mention efficient and dangerous when he kills. Bailey has a thought in her head that'll be just too easy to kill that man right now, the man who killed her grandfather. She throws a blade that merely passes the throat of Blacktop Bill and impales a shade instead. Without flinching, Blacktop Bill thanks her and owes her one. You know that's tension building right there. The team uses the big rigs to trap the shades in a kill box, so to speak, to turn the lights on so they'll have dinner. M is told to turn on the lights, then he mysteriously screams in pain. Bailey checks on M and he tells her it's them. The shades are communicating with him. But what shades? The shade god or what? You can see the previous review on Nocterra Issue 8. Bailey turns on the light for Imori to finish the kills. Sauteed haku with the side of fire roasted shade shrooms. That's the dinner from the kill. While some dialogue is exchanged, Blacktop Bill tells what they're looking for is called a place called Luna. That is the key to restoring all life on Earth. Like the name, Luna means moon. It looks like a fallen moon of light, like where he came from. They're all nocturnes, songs born of moonlight. The island, Luna, is an isolated military compound in the ocean off the coast of Florida, connected to the mainland by a long, guarded bridge. More nocturnes are being made on the island who are hunting him, Blacktop Bill, and by proxy, Val and her crew as well. Bailey confirms with Bill's intel that it's a dangerous island that's heavily guarded, megas, and all of us are being hunted by trained killers? Yeah, no pressure, right? Bill confirms that they are savages, trained mercenaries, ready to kill men, women, and children. The program rewarded tyranny, and only the worst got to be nocturnes, and the worst of the worst got to be the leader. And Bill tells him about the big rivalry that ended up between him and this other guy, this other fella, a career criminal, a prison gang leader. They also named him Beer, but everyone called him William because of Blacktop Bill's command. But what William wanted all more than anything else was to lead. Blacktop Bill didn't care. Eventually, it all came to a head. If two candidates had an issue, they put us in the pit, like a stone arena, to fight it out, duke it out. So William challenged Blacktop Bill, and they got put in the pit, and it didn't turn out well for him. So Val's like, let me guess, you cut his tongue out? No, you cut his eyes out? And Blacktop Bill's like, no, man, I actually ripped off his manhood, made him eat some, ground the rest into a floor at my foot so they couldn't put it back together. Anyways, we ain't friends, let's just say that. So Val asked him, did they expect the experiment to fail on Luna or something? And then Blacktop Bill's like, well, if you're asking me, did the people who conducted the experiment ever really think they were bringing heavenly light here for everyone? Or did they know from the start that this would be a result of the EOS or the big PM hit for everyone else? I couldn't answer that question. I really don't know. So Bill's like, okay, he gets hungry, so they're like, okay, we'll give you a shade, but an asshole shade. That's kind of funny. Bailey's angry after hearing what Blacktop Bill had to say. After serving Bill asshole, Bailey is upset with Blacktop Bill saying that her grandfather Gus came up with the equation in the first place. She defends his honor by adding that he never thought it was ever a chance of this big PM happening. Val calms her down by saying no one is saying Gus had a hand in this. We don't know that. What we do know is Gus's equation could save the world. Gus's intentions don't matter at this point, Bailey. Even the people inside EOS intentions don't matter either. All that matters is getting the equation into whatever machine that will bring back the light. The end result matters the most. That's all that matters. Imori tells him that he saw EOS. It was filled with people who looked like angels infused with light. He sensed that there was goodness in them. If we can get that equation to them, he knows that they know there's a way to spread the light. And he believes they'll do it. And he asks Bill, have you ever set foot in that? Bill's like, nope. But it's paradise, I can tell you that supposedly. But the people running the place are the ones at the gate up front. They want you dead. They knew old Gus, Bailey's grandfather, was working on that equation and they killed him for it. Bailey is pissed like, no, you killed him. You tied him to the roof and let him shade out so he could kill me. It's true. I mean, it is in issue number 2 that he does tie up Gus to the roof of his car just for the heck of it. And Blacktop Bill's like, hey, baby girl, I was just making the job more interesting, sweetheart. But you all should know this. This mission of yours, this save the world bullshit, you better be ready to fight dirty, to claw and bite and hit below the belt. Because if you aren't, you ain't gonna make it within 100 miles of EOS. Now, I'll take another plate of ass if you will, please, because I'm still hungry. So as they drive to the coast of Florida, Bailey drives Bill's truck. Val was surprised when she was asked if she could drive Bill's truck, but she wanted to do that just to spite him, because as much as she didn't want to admit it, Bill's words has stayed with her about fighting dirty, becoming like him, about how it was the only way to get the other side to do this thing. I hated him for it, and I knew he was wrong. I knew it, and I was going to prove it somewhere. So she's thinking the world is going to be better after the big PM hit. But meanwhile, Blacktop Bill's trying to point out, no, girl, the only reason why people are better is because of this big PM hit. It's not going to be better when this big PM hit and the light comes about. So Adam tries to start a conversation like, you haven't said nothing within 100 miles, so I'm just going to ramble away. Random stuff, bright music, bright movies, not horror movies, because horror movies are dark, which attracted the shades. And then all of a sudden, explosion happened. Piper asked Val, what is going on? Val's like, dude, we landed some landmines. Thank God for the blasted plates on the carriage, or else we'll be scrapped. And if Blacktop Bill's like, everyone get ready. We have company. It's William. Let me out. I'll help you. And they're like, not a chance. Stay your ass in the back, Blacktop Bill. We got this. Oh no, then it's William. The other Nocturne's like, there aren't enough guns in the big PM to save you guys from me. And Bill, I know you in there. Oh, and the things I'm going to do with you when I get my hands on you. They try to battle out. Their vehicles are reinforced. They're shooting landmines. And Blacktop Bill's like, dude, I got something in my truck that will work. At first, they're hesitant to do it. They don't want to do it because it's Blacktop Bill. How can you trust the brother? William uses harpoons to slow him down, which is a reference to what Blacktop Bill did in issue number 2 to drain the energy of the truck. And in a moment of desperation, Blacktop Bill's like, dude, Piper, the button, just push it. No, I won't listen to you. Val's like, do it anyway. And when she does push the button, what is unleashed is human shade freaking kids. It just goes against everything morally wrong that you shouldn't do. And now they're wanting, damn, Bill, even though it saved our butts, but they're little kids. And they were like, dude, this whole freaking time he had shade out kids in the trunk of his car, in the trunk of his truck. And Blacktop Bill's like, hey, you can thank me now or you can thank me later. And Bailey's talking about after all this driving was done, she rode through the night getting closer to Luna, but she couldn't stop thinking about those shade kids. Had he captured them? Were they already shade? Or were they kids and he captured them and let them shade out so they become shade kids? It's just messing with her head. So Blacktop Bill wakes her up from her sleep and is like, hello there, Piper. And when she reaches for her pistol, Blacktop Bill's like, what? Like, you wondering how I broke out of my chains? Come on, baby girl. Don't insult me like that, kid. I just want to chat for a second in private. We don't want to disturb the other crew members, do we? And Betty's like, you don't know anything about me, Blacktop Bill. And Blacktop Bill's like, that's the thing. I do know you back and front. You're the kind who thinks this place, the big PM, is making us better people. But I'll tell you this, baby girl. People are only good to each other because it's how you survive. You have to be good to remain in the outpost. Being kind, it's Darwinism. It's just a way of survival because you have to do it. But as soon as we get back to light, we're all savages. And he goes and stabs, as it appears to be her, but no, it's near her, through the truck to get to the shade up front. That new world on the other side of this, it'll be worse than it was before the darkness. I promise you that. I love this foreshadowing. Is this talking about Nocterra is still going to continue after this, after the light comes back? And Blacktop Bill continues to say, and anyone who doesn't think so has no freaking place here. We're even now. Go on. You can put the chains back on if it makes you feel better, baby girl. I don't know why I'm adding baby girl, but Blacktop Bill just seems menacing and savage, and that's where the story ends. The story does a great job of building tension both externally and internally among the characters. Putting Bill in the company with Val and the others leads to some great dialogue between them and great exposition, as well as great tension-filled exchanges with Piper, aka Bailey. The action is gangster and gives the story a sense of energy and immediately keeps me coming back. I don't know about you, but I can't wait for this to air on Netflix next year. I love how the stakes are raised in the story and cannot wait to see where this story goes. And that's where we end this review. We begin this issue with Piper having a dream. The dream that she opens her eyes and the first thing she sees is light. The dream was the end of their journey. The light came back, they found ES and the Sundog convoy flipped the fraction bar, and now we're into the big AM hit and they have light. She sees all her friends. It seems like a dream come true because it is a dream, but then it goes dark really quick. And it's Blacktop Bill in his voice saying, you did it, kid. You made it. Suddenly, she feels like it's all her fault. The equation that she had in her head from her grandfather, thinking it'll bring something better, but somehow Bill was right from the previous issue. Instead, you didn't bring anything better. you made it far worse. Now back to reality, the Sunduck convoy reaches to the Luna base. And that base is where the Nocturnes like Bill and the others are made, where their skin is permanently grafted to carbon nanotubes that turn them into walking silhouettes, phantoms that Shades can't detect to protect them from the Eos. Eos is supposed to be an old word for dawn, but it makes no sense even though it's a bright shining light. Now it's dawn based on Eos, but maybe inside is where the darkness truly lies. So the Sunduck convoy, they all look at the Eos base. They're trying to think of a way to get in. Bellwether is like, you know, there's 2 guards there, but how do we distract them? We have no cover, none. And Blacktop Bill's like, hey man, just think it out loud here. But if I could tell them that I came to my senses and I want to join the gang back, you just need to uncuff me and give me a weapon and that'll be your distraction. Like, nah, we don't like that plan. So Imori is like, no, how about we use Blacktop Bill as a distraction? And we could use the mag clamps to crawl along under the bridge, and because it's a straight way. So Val is like, I like that idea, baby bro. Good. Magnetic pads is what we're gonna use to crawl under the bridge, and we're gonna send Blacktop Bill as a distraction. So Piper's like, cool, and Val's like, no, you and Adam stay behind. And the reason is Adam, he's untested and he's a liability, and you stay beyond because if we get to the EOS location, we need someone on the outside to have it in case things go down sideways. Piper is like, I don't want to do that. I want to be in on the action. No, that's not going to happen. You have the equation in your head. You are a walking version of the good math. You need to save the world. In case things go down sideways, I'm going to give you the location. You drive off and you do that when I tell you to. So Piper's like, really? So you're just going to do that? You're going to leave me behind? What's next now? Is Blacktop Bill going to join the convoy too? Val's like, look, I'm going to need him as long as I have to need him. You stay in the truck and you leave when I tell you the location of EOS, all right? Because you need that equation in case this goes sideways. So this is all for nothing suicide heist mission. I'm digging it. So as they crawl underneath the tube, these 2 guards are like, okay, these megas are acting all crazy, man. What's up with that? And we see them underneath. Val tells them, do not look at the water. And the cook is like, I'm sorry, but these megas are like having an appetite. But the only thing that's keeping these megas away from devouring them right now is because the light shining bright from this base. So Val tells Bill, hey man, it's showtime. And Bill's like, I know, I got this. Don't worry about your old boy Bill. Just focus on you and those megas after all, down below, you know? And those are the biggest ones I've ever seen. If these spotlights flicker just for a second, those bad boys are gonna bring the whole place down and gobble everyone up. Everyone not coated in carbon nanotubes, that is. And Bellwether's like, I hate this freaking guy. So Blacktop Bill introduces himself and he's like, hey man, I'm here to back for business. And one of the guards like, oh no, this ain't that easy for you. You ain't coming back in. You think Sugar is gonna roll out the welcome mat for you after what you did? He thought if he has family, you piece of. Before he can finish his sentence, boom, explosion happens and the Sunduck convoy infiltrate the base. Piper and Adam are in the truck reading a book, and Val communicates with her on the telecom that we're inside. And they comment like, this place is a fortress. Like, dude, this is huge. There's more guards here. Bill, what do we do next? And Bill's like, just mess with him because he has a bomb attached to him as a contingency plan. So Bill's like, all right, it's kind of hard to concentrate with all this ammonium nitrate strapped onto me. Of course, if you took the bomb off, I could concentrate better. And Val's like, look, anyone that takes that bomb off, it goes boom. You can try it though. You'll have maybe half a second from when the tape rips. If you toss it really quick, you might only lose an arm or a leg. Or by all means, go on, give it a try. Just tell us where the frick we're going. Bill's like, all right then, Captain. Left, then right, then left, all right? So they do follow the directions. They come into these pods where Bill was made. And Bill jokes to them like, okay, well, we're home sweet home. If we have a few minutes, anyone want to give it a try, become like me? It's going to hurt like hell, but hey, you get a sexy ass tan like me. Come on! And these Sunduck convoys, they don't want to mess around. Bill, just tell us where the freak we're going. Okay, all right. Bill's like, all right, behind that door is where it all lies. And we see Sam and Diggs, these 2 people. The guy in the yellow is like the right-hand man to the guy in the red. And I believe that guy is Sugar. And Sugar's like, well, the prodigal son has returned. Diggs is like, sir, please let me shoot this traitor's mofo right now. Come on, Diggs. Let's move on. Past the past. Let's just move on with it. And since we're in that spirit, I sincerely apologize for what I did to your face back then. I was just having too much fun beating on Willie and ripping his nuts off. He did say that in the previous issue. I'm not just adding it in for comedic purposes. And he also just taunts him with, hey, how to get your face fixed with those skin grafts? I heard they had to take some skin from your ass to fix your face. You piece of... Right before he blasts him, Sugar's like, Diggs, do not do it. What are you doing here? What do you want, Bill? Bill's like, I just want to introduce you to my Sunduck convoy. You know, Val, meet Sugar. Sugar, meet Val. Nice to meet you, says Val. Now give us the freaking coordinates to EOS. So to get the coordinates, Val conveys that to Piper in the truck. And then Adam's like, you know what? I just used the Nox look over there, get the night vision, see what's over there, hitting those bushes and those trucks. And she does that. It's a Nocturne's convoy, and they have arrived, and they're gonna go in. So as they go into the place where Bill fought William and ripped his nuts off, Bill's like, I don't recognize it, but this looks way too clean. And Sugar's like, after your recent resignation, the higher ups asked me to change the methods, you know, more carrot, less stick. And Bill's like, I'm half sorry to hear that. I was always partial to more stick myself. Funny you should say that, as he gets shanked from behind with the knife that was thrown at him by your boy William. And William's like, oh, it's time to finish that fight, Bill. And Diggs, you stay far out the way. And the only thing I don't get is how the heck Sugar was able to elbow Val when she clearly had him at gunpoint. But for the sake of storytelling, Sugar's like, William, here's your chance. Finish him off and we'll make it official. I'll even call you Bill, and I'll call him Blacktop Bill. William, you'll be prime Nocturne. Everything that was Bill's will be yours. Well, you had me at Bill, says William. You ready? Let's do this. As they're about to go down, Val tells Piper, come on, run. If you haven't run right now, get on the road, run. Can you hear me? No need to yell, Val, says Piper, because I am here. And she is pissed. The walking equation is inside on a suicide mission. What are you doing here? How did she find him that quickly anyway? Sugar's like, no one's going anywhere. Isn't that right, miss? You look like you're Augustus' granddaughter, Bailey. Now come down here. There are too many of us to fight all by yourself. And she's like, oh, I'm not by myself. And that helmet that Bill uses to communicate with the shades, it's the Hepatongue. And William's like, no, that Hepatongue uses too much power. You plug that in, you'll short out the whole facility. The Megas will eat us alive. And Adam's like, I hesitate, it's gonna make everything dark. You sure you want me to do this, Bailey? Piper, you sure you want me to do this? And she's like, do it now. So as he plugs it in that moment, Piper hears Bill's voice in her dream again, telling her that all the hope will come to nothing. Worse than that, she is the downfall of the Song Dogs, this downfall of everything. And in her head, she plays that voice back to herself, and she's like, so be it, let it be. And then the darkness comes over, and he would say, the base goes dark, these Megas go crazy, and that's where we end this issue. This is a gangster read, I love it. Can't wait for this to be a Netflix show next year in 2023. My only negatives on this book, I thought the heist was great. I thought the overall tension building was great. The world building, they upped the stakes, was great. My only negative about this is, the art was great, but when Val and Piper were having a dialogue exchange and a tense dialogue exchange on why Piper needs to stay back, I felt there could have been more intensity drawn out with that art. And also, how does Sugar elbow Val that damn quickly? But other than that, that's my only negatives, really. If there's really a negative, I thought this was a very solid issue. We begin this issue with a brief monologue by Bailey McCrae, call sign Piper, about the roles everyone in the convoy has. Val is the lead rig, she's the leader of them all. M is their engineer, Bill is the armorer, and Callie is the cook, because we all gotta eat, right? In Sundown Convoy, she is the mathematician, calculating everything that needs to be calculated. But sometimes, when things get too complicated, the easiest way to handle them is to reset and start it all over. That's what she thinks she is doing by shutting down the power to give her convoy a chance to escape in this building from all the shades. The rest of the convoy is more concerned about the mega shades arriving. This is an all-out pandemonium shitstorm going on up in here. Sam orders William to put off his feud with Bill and simply kill him directly. William tells Sam respectfully, by the way, that he was promised to fight instead of killing Bill, Blacktop Bill, point blank. Sam reminds William that disrespectfully he is a glorified grunt and exists only to follow orders. And the order is to blow this man's brains across the freaking floor. Bill taunts him further by saying that he thought he left his balls attached last time, but that this was his mistake. Clearly reminding him that he ripped his balls off the last time they fought. And also, come on, bro, get your shit together, get your head in the game. William opens fire on Sam and Diggs instead. After we get that awesome looking and gory panel, by the way, William puts out a blade and wants to go another round 2 battle that is. No bell, no one to interfere, just you and me, bro. Val berates Piper for being stupid, risking her own life when she is the only one who knows where the coordinates of EOS are. Piper was supposed to stay behind with the rigs, and when they get the location for EOS, she would simply be on the outside in case things go sideways. That way she can still have that information instead of all of them have that information just going down with the base. Like now, and Piper and Adam are all up in there with all the crazy. So in other words, she was supposed to leave the scene when the crazy went down and keep the location of EOS safe. That way she can share with others. Piper did not understand that for some reason, and she just went in there because she wanted to help. They quickly relayed to them directly. Instead of heading for Eos, Piper is there with them, and she may die with the rest of them as all this battle is going on. William threatens to cut off one of Blacktop Bill's hands. Bill is never going to be outdone by those around him. He takes a stick of explosives in that hand, shoves it in William's face, and blows him up, losing his hand in the process. Val still needs him to lead them out, even though the only way is back across the bridge, which will be a lot of hungry Megas wait for them. And then Bill grabs Imori and demands the coordinates to Eos. He actually wants Imori to communicate with the Shades directly since he has the ability to do so. Val asks him why. Because he has used the Hepa tongue, and he knows better than anyone that Nox is trying to take over the entire planet. Nox is the Shade God. Bill knows this, but he believes that Nox is coming to liberate them, and the darkness is freedom, that Eos never stood a chance, but he claims if they side with Nox, they will all survive. And I am not surprised about the double cross. I mean, it was bigger than I was expecting. Plus, it is Blacktop Bill. Would you expect anything less from the brother? Piper will not give up the coordinates, but Adam heard them too, and he remembers them, so he rattles them off and demands that Bill tell Nox to spare them. Instead, he shoots Adam, and he makes sure that Imori heard the numbers, because what he hears, the Shades would know, and when the Shades know about the location of Eos, by pulling the numbers from M's mind, everyone in the convoy can feel it happening, that the Shades are on their way to cross Eos. Bill gives Val one more chance to join him. Instead, she orders Imori to duck and shoots Bill. He has time to start monologuing and, ramble off some words like, girl, you're messed up. You should have picked on the writer side. You should have picked my side because you would have lived. But then he is grabbed by a Shade and pulled into the water. There is not much more time. Val demands that all the flash pops they have so she can use them and set up a huge distraction so the rest of the team can get out. I suspect that she's sacrificing herself, even though she tells her convoy that she'll be right behind them. They don't have much time, and if they still want to save the world, they gotta listen to Val, and they gotta get the hell out that Luna base. So, in conclusion, I thought Nocterra Issue 11, the final story arc, Pedal to the Metal, is chaotic. The art captures and reflects his whole while keeping the story coherent. We know that Piper has chosen to hit the big reset in the middle of a huge fight at Luna base. Things are going to be messy, and I appreciate that this book has some identifying accessories now that there are more of them than just Blacktop Bill. Featureless characters can be very challenging to keep apart, and it's certainly dramatic that Bill is willing to let his own hand down to be blown off if it means beating his old challenger. When Luna Base starts flooding, there are moments where it's difficult to tell whether it's been breached or whether it's just a function of the pumps not working. But either way, this is an awesome read, and things come together after the incident with Bill. The Sundog convoy has a moment to regroup, and then the Megas approaches, and this is just awesome, and I'm looking forward to this to be a Netflix show. The scale makes it extra terrifying with their escape, and this makes it just like the fight being more suspenseful as well as their escape, even though it's only a few panels. I enjoy the ending of the story arc, and I cannot wait for this to be a Netflix show. Not to mention the epilogue at the end where we see Val resurface from the water is just something to sink your teeth into, and I'm looking forward to the next arc. With that being said, link in the description if you wish to add Nocterra issue number 11 to your comic book collection. Nocterra issue number 11, what you guys think of the comic book? Comment below, let me know, as well as the end of the story arc. If you like the content we're throwing up, you know what to do. Don't be shy, don't be stingy. Here at Rated Comics, we do awesome comic book reviews, comic book related content with the occasional comic book giveaway. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.